Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week I've got the awesome FX crane on the test bench, but before that I'm back out on the bunnies. Well, I'm out on a farm that is absolutely crawling with rabbits, and they're causing quite a lot of damage, mostly through their burrowing and undermining banks. Rather than wandering around and just trying to get the odd shot, I find in situations like that you tend to shoot more rabbits by being a bit more systematic, setting up an ambush somewhere where the rabbits seem to be quite active. And in this case, I tend to shoot prone and shoot from the support of a bipod just because it keeps my shots that much more stable. So that's the plan for this evening. My gun choice for this evening is my trusty Daystate Red Wolf, which tends to be my go-to gun for this kind of shooting. It is very accurate, which makes it great when I'm shooting off the support of a bipod. And that's coupled with an MTC Mamba light scope, and that's held on as usual with sports match scope mounts. Right, we've got a very pleasant evening for it, and I'm pretty sure that these rabbits are going to be eager to get out and make the most of these last warm rays of evening sun, so let's get cracking. Right, well I've picked a spot in a rough corner of this paddock. A lot of rabbits ran in when we arrived. Now, there's a track that runs past a woodshed here, a lot of rabbits scattered from around there. There's also a patch to my left that's got a lot of rubbish stored. Looks like it's just been put there ready for a bonfire. Again, there were rabbits around there, so that looks promising. It's all comfortably within range. And there's also a bit of hedgerow across to my right, and I'm sure that's the sort of habitat that's going to produce one or two rabbits later on. So it's looking good. I found myself a place also. I've tucked myself into the shadows, which is going to help with concealment. But also I'm relatively close to this hedge line, so it just keeps me off of the skyline. I'm setting up with the scope cam this evening, so even if Nikki can't get onto these rabbits, I should be able to capture the action. I don't really like shooting through the screen rather than looking through the scope, but it's not usually a problem when shooting off a bipod. Of course, the scope cam isn't much use unless we see something to film. Things soon settle down following the disturbance of our arrival, and it isn't too long before the first rabbit of the evening ventures back out to feed. And it's come out exactly where I want it. Well, that was a good start. That one was in front of a gate that I'd ranged at about 40 metres away, so it was pretty much smack on zero. Hit it with a really square wallop to the head, lights out. I'm not going to go stomping over to retrieve that rabbit because the disturbance will put others on edge. It's cleanly killed, so I'm leaving it where it fell, and hopefully more chances will follow soon. Sure enough, it's not long before another rabbit creeps out comfortably within my striking distance. That one was pretty near to where I had the first one, just a little bit closer to me. And I could actually, through the scope, I could see another rabbit moving around in the undergrowth just to the right of it. So I think we could be on for a few from here.
Sprawling out on hard ground to ambush rabbits isn't the most comfortable of ways to shoot, but there are usually rewards if you've got the patience for it.
And there's another one. I didn't actually see that one come out. I just scanned across the tussocks and it was already there. Another really good solid smack to the head. To be honest, there's no excuse for missing when you've got a setup like this and you're shooting off a bipod.
The next rabbit and the one that follows are only about half grown, but I make no apology for shooting the smaller ones. I'm not shooting for sport. This is a pest control job where burrowing rabbits can pose a danger to livestock, and they all have the potential to cause damage. It also happens that smaller rabbits are great for the pot.
There were two out then. Absolutely nailed one of them, but the other one wasn't stupid enough to hang around and offer me a shot. I was a little bit closer than my zero range, so that shot needed just a little bit of hold under, but it certainly found its mark.
There are a lot of rabbits on this ground, and I don't have to wait long before another small one ventures out in almost exactly the same spot.
Well, if only they'd all present themselves as clearly as that. That one was pretty close to where I'd shot the previous one. In fact, it may even have been the one that spooked as I took the shot.
Things are starting to slow down a little bit now. I'm not surprised. I'm starting to make a bit of a dent in this particular pocket of rabbits. This evening's shooting isn't over just yet though.
Just wanted to make sure that that one was cleanly killed, which it certainly is. But I could see that the pellet actually struck it a bit higher than I'd hoped, caught it right in the top of the head. It was incredibly close. It actually popped up over a brow, probably about 12 metres in front of me. So at that distance, the pellet's still going to be a little bit low, so I gave the shot quite a lot of hold over. Turned out I actually gave it a bit too much, and as I said, the pellet struck higher than I'd hoped, but it still absolutely snuffed it out.
Another long wait follows, which suggests to me that it's time to move on from this spot.
Right, well, it's gone very, very quiet now, but I can't complain. We've had a brilliant little session from this spot and made a nice little tally of rabbits, but as the action's tailed off, I've reached the usual point where I start to feel uncomfortable sprawled out like this, so I want to just have a bit of a move around. Got a bit of light left though, so what I'm going to do, pick up these rabbits, just stretch my legs, and I may just set up somewhere else, and if that produces more rabbits, we'll show you that in another episode. More rabbits brought to book there and still more to be had. And now it's the Airgun Show news.
This is the Airgun Show news. Both remaining candidates for Prime Minister have said they won't further restrict gun laws if they get into power. Jeremy Hunt pledged to base all his policy decisions on evidence and never introduce any undue restrictions on gun ownership or the list of wild animals it is lawful to shoot. Meanwhile, Boris Johnson said it was not a priority for him to change any gun laws. A result in the leadership race is expected in about 2 weeks' time. The number of firearms certificates on issue in the UK has risen again and is now at its highest level since 1987. FACs rose by about 2,000 and the number of actual firearms covered rose by about 19,000. The number of shotgun certificates also rose slightly. And although just 6% of all certificate holders are female, the number of women shooters overall has risen too. The latest issue of Airgun Shooter magazine is out now, and it's a shooting technique special. Inside you'll find a feature dedicated to getting you on target, whatever distance you're shooting at, and there's a guide to gun selection, ensuring you always pick the right tool for the job. Plus, there are reviews of the Walther Rotex RM8UC, the Webley Mark 6 revolver, and 6 bipods. Pick up Airgun Shooter 124 in good newsagents, or visit myfavouritemagazines.co.uk to subscribe. And speaking of magazines, 3 of the best shooting mags in the land have just kicked off their summer sale. From now until the end of August, you can get 5 copies of Airgun Shooter, Clay Shooting, or Sporting Rifle for just £5. Want to take advantage? Just head to the link on screen now and scroll to the mag of your choice. That was the Airgun Show news.
A couple of months ago we took a look at the FX Impact Mark II, a brilliant bullpup airgun with remarkable potential for tweaking. This week we've got another innovative offering from FX, the Crown. It shares a lot of the Impact's adjustability but puts it in a more conventional sporter chassis. It's another fine Swedish-made airgun, and this laminate version retails for £1,899, although prices actually start at £1,099. Other options for this beautiful Minelli-made thumbhole stock include a selection of laminates, a synthetic and walnut. This is the green laminate, which blends in really well with that British countryside. It's an ambidextrous stock, but a great fit is still possible thanks to a height adjustable cheek piece and a butt pad that's adjustable for height and angle. There are nice panels of stippling on either side of the fore end and pistol grip, though I would say that I tend to shoot with my leading hand too far forwards to take advantage of that fore end stippling. I really do like this thumbhole stock. It incorporates a steep palm-filling pistol grip that enables you to shoot either thumb through or thumb up. The Crown looks like quite a big airgun. It weighs 3.5 kilos in the laminate stock version and measures 97 centimetres with the barrel shroud retracted and 103 centimetres with it extended. Thanks to the clever design of the stock and its excellent balance, it feels deceptively compact and very pointable in the shoulder.
If you ever get a chance to shoot this gun on a range, make sure you do, because it has to be felt to be believed. I was very impressed with the standard of finish and engineering on the Impact Mark II, and it's equally good on the Crown. The matte black finish is very neat, and this gun also shares the extendable barrel shroud feature. Extended, it increases the length of the gun by 6 centimeters, and although that doesn't sound like very much, it makes a serious difference in terms of muting the muzzle report. Scope mounting is by means of conventional dovetail rails. One thing you do need to be aware of is that the magazine stands up quite high in the middle of those rails, so you need to make sure that you buy sufficiently high scope mounts to clear it. This is the 177 version, and the magazine holds no less than 21 pellets. There are numerous caliber options, and even the mighty .30 has a 14-shot capacity. It's great having so many shots at the ready, but I do wonder whether some shooters may prefer a standard 10-shot and the option to mount that scope just a little bit lower. Either way, the magazine works brilliantly and is extremely kind to pellets. Pull the side lever all the way back and the magazine pulls out from the right. Next, you need to rotate the clear faceplate anti-clockwise against the spring tension as far as it will go, and then load a pellet tail first in from the opposite side. Then turn the magazine back over and load pellets nose first so all of the other chambers are filled. Once it's full, you then snap the clear faceplate back into position, push the magazine into the breech, return the side lever, and the gun's ready to fire. That clear faceplate enables you to keep a close eye on how many pellets you've got left as you work your way through the magazine. And it's possible to shoot through a heck of a lot of pellets thanks to the slick side lever action. It's nicely positioned, feels great to operate, and makes quick and easy work of rapid cocking and loading. I'm pretty fussy about triggers and would expect one on a gun of this price to be excellent, and it is. The match type blade is adjustable and its wide flat face transmits plenty of feel. It's a fully adjustable trigger, but this one was set up perfectly straight from the box. There's a fair amount of first stage travel, but it then comes to a very clear stop before braking crisply with absolutely no creep. There's a manual safety catch nicely positioned just above the trigger. It makes a bit of a click when you flick it on and off, but I don't think it's anything for hunters to worry about. You push it up with your thumb to make it safe, and then flick it forwards when you're ready to shoot. Charging is via the supplied Foster connector to the inlet on the underside of the gun. From a maximum fill of 250 bar, you can expect 400 shots at sub 12 foot-pounds. That big shot count is down to the high capacity carbon bottle and a very efficient regulated action. You can keep an eye on air reserves via the 2 gauges in the belly of the gun. One of them shows regulator pressure and the other one shows remaining air supply. That regulated action also delivers very consistent shooting with no power curve. There are some serious power options up to over 80 foot-pounds, but this model is churning out 11.5 foot-pounds on its full power setting. Shot-to-shot variation is just 4 feet per second over a 10-shot string. And there's even an adjustable power dial so you can tweak output, which should be very handy on high-powered models. And the adjustment doesn't end there. There's another dial with caliber-specific settings for optimum airflow. And if that's not enough, the FX Smooth Twist X barrel incorporates an interchangeable system that enables you to switch between calibers and twist rates. The FX Crown has a lot of seriously impressive features. I think that's most of them covered, so let me show you how it shoots.
Well, the crane made very easy work of that. That's a 30-metre target, and it was practically putting pellet on pellet. Now, I chose that range as a fair test because that's the distance that we test most of the review guns at, but to be honest with you, it was a walk in the park for this setup, and you can rest assured that its performance is pretty much the same at 40 metres. Now, it's super accurate, super consistent, and I've not even started tinkering with any of the advanced settings on it yet, so I think it's pretty fair to say that this would make an awesome long-range hunting tool. So that's the FX Crown. Words really can't do it justice. It's an extremely well-made airgun that's a delight to shoot and offers the shooter huge potential for further refinement. I'll finish by reiterating a point I made earlier on. If you do get a chance to shoot this gun, give it a go. You won't be disappointed.
Look out for the new and improved Airgun Shooter magazine, packed full of technique, gear and insight from some of the best shooters in the industry. Brand new look and free video content. Pick up your copy today in stores or online.
That's all for this week, but we'll be back again in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you aren't already a member of the BASC, it's time you joined the organisation that works to promote and protect your sport.